हमारा कोर्स क्या है? हमारा कोर्स क्या है? Okay. Headlines 4 pages. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good morning, everyone. Okay, silence class. Hello. Start.
Good morning, everyone. Today headlines. Now COVID-19 booster dose after just 6 months of second job. PT Usha Ilazia and Bahubali winter nominated to Rajya Sabha.
Ilayya Raja and Bahubali.
Yes.
Writer
Nominated to Rajya Sabha. LPG cylinder of 50 rupees in a fourth hike this year. Yes. Ailing Lalu affiliated airlifted aims in Delhi. SC ordered a status quo on demolition drive in city. TMC MP Madhu Motira.
नहीं मधु डी कहाँ लिखा हुआ है?
मधु
डी कहाँ है? महुआ मोइत्रा
TMC MP Mahua Moitra
book for silence class.
Books for Kali remarks. Exit to here to get TVs anchors petition against multiple FIR. You must guard against taking too much of
vitamin D.
CM launches dial 112 for emergency service. State report 309 new COVID cases. 1.70 lakh cabinet take a B.Ed entrance test. AIMS P2 start advanced yoga therapy soon. Dr. Paul. A state government to bear medical expenses on Lalu State CM. Two brothers shot dead in Champaran. Start cleaning all ghat and Vedic Gaya DM. District magistrate. Adalpur.
Additional
police zone developed at Ara after every post traffic. Gaya youth killed in cell explosion. Under attack for constitution remarks, Kerala Minister quits. Naqvi asked quit Modi cabinet. Modi is in graduate.
Modi to
in graduate team
inaugurate.
Inaugurate की meet on NEP in Varanasi today. Cut imported cooking. Cut imported cooking oil prices by 10 rupees. Government to cost.
Companies. Cost is companies.
Cost is company.
न्यूज़पेपर आप लगातार पढ़ोगे ना, तो शॉर्ट कौन सा पकड़ा जाएगा?
Sacrifice life for nation PM Sahel Mukherjee. Punjab CM to marry Haryana doctor today. Government says doctor.
वो शादी करेगा तो डॉक्टर से ना, डॉक्यूमेंट से थोड़ी करेगा.
Cloud burst land sick hit Kallu in SP 3 dead 5 feared drowned. At 7.5 lakh, Agnipath gets IAF is most application ever. USA expectation for every Indian Modi. Say arrest TV and stay arrest TV Anchor Ranjan please to exit.
Thank you.
Exit between Supreme Court.
This one. At 7.5 lakh, Agnipath gets Indian Armed Force its most applications ever. This one and this one.
Good morning, everyone. I am Anjali, and I am going to read today's news. That is, the IAF has received almost 7.5 lakh online applications under the new Agnipath scheme, the highest number till now in any recruitment cycle, even as the registration drives for the Army and Navy are currently underway. The IAF,
Indian Armed Force.
the Indian Armed Force, was the first to kick off the registration process, which began on June 24 and ended on Tuesday. The Army and Navy in turn launched their recruitment drives on July 1. Compared to 6,31,528 applications in the past, which was the highest in any recruitment cycle. This time, 7,49,899 applications have been received. An Indian Armed Force officer said. Under the Radical Agnipath scheme announced on June 14, 46,000 Agniveers, 40,000 of Army and 3,000 of each for IAF and Navy will be recruited this year, with only 25% of them being eventually selected after 4 years for induction into regular military cadre. To serve for another 15 years, the government has not rolled back the Agnipath scheme despite it triggering widespread protest for over a week by youth in several states against the short-term recruitment of all soldiers, airmen, and sailors with no pension and ex-service man benefits. The government, however, has announced series of concession of the 75% Agniveers to be demobilized from each batch. Thank you.
A poor country made Bitcoin its currency, but bet isn't paying off.
Good morning, class. Today news are a poor country made Bitcoin its currency, but bets isn't paying off. Bitcoin was meant to transform El Salvador's economy, capturing the poor Central American nation into an unlikely harbinger of financial revolution. But nearly a year after the country's president Nayib Bukele stopped But nearly a year after, country President Nayib Bukele shocked the financial world by making its most popular digital coin a national currency. This bet appears to be backfiring, high lifting the gap up to promises of cryptocurrency proponents and economic realities. Last year, the government allocated the equivalent of 15% of its annual investment budget to try ingraining Bitcoin into the national economy. It's offered 30, nearly 1% of what an average Salvadoran earns in a year. To every citizen who downloaded a government-backed cryptocurrency payment app called Chivo Wallet. Chivo means school in local slang. Bukele claims that nearly 3 billion Salvadorans or 60% of adults heard his call. Yet after the initial uptake, the use of cryptocurrency has plunged. Only 10% of Chivo users continued making Bitcoin transactions on the app after spending their 30 stipend. According to a survey conducted by 3 US-based economy in February and published by the National Bureau of Economic Research, almost no new customers downloaded this app this year, the researchers found. The government gave this project as much push as you could hope for, as it still failed, said Fernando Alvarez, a University of Chicago economist and an author of the study. Bukele Bitcoin push was dealt a further blow by a global cryptocurrency sell-off that wiped away hundreds of billions of dollars from the value of digital assets since March. The government's Bitcoin holding have lost about 60% of their presumed value during the recent market plunge. People are scared of losing their money, said
Losing.
losing their money, said Ligaldo Villovas, who coordinate vendors in capital city San
Salvador.
Salvador. The losers are increasing as the government struggles to subsidize rising cost of food and fuels and meet up upcoming 800 million debt payment. Eventually, Bukele will face a difficult choice of drastically cutting public spending or pushing the country into default. Thank you.
Canada to throw out 13.6 million doses of AstraZeneca vaccine.
Canada is going to throw out about 13.6 million doses of Oxford AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine because it couldn't find any takers for it at home or abroad. Canada signed a contract with AstraZeneca in 2020 to get 20 million doses of its vaccine, and 2.3 million of candidates received at least one dose of it, mostly between March and July 2021, following concern in the spring of 2021 about rare but fatal blood clots from
AstraZeneca.
AstraZeneca Canada focused on using its
Supplies.
supplies of the mRNA vaccine from
Pfizer.
Pfizer, BioNTech, and Modern in July 2021. Canada promised to donate the rest of its procured supply, about 17.7 million doses, but its a statement Tuesday Health Canada said that despite effects of that placed 13.6 million doses have expired and will be to throw out due to limited demand of the vaccine and recipients country challenged with distribution and absorption. They were not accepted. The statement said in all Canada donated 8.9 million doses of AstraZeneca vaccine, 4.8 million doses from its main supply and 4.1 million 4.1 million doses it bought from the co-vaccine sharing program. About 85% of Canada and considered fully vaccinated compared with 61% of the world population and just 16% of people living in the world
Poorest.
poorest country.
Reports International Monetary Fund IMF may ban Pakistan from seeking more loans from China. Okay. Good morning, class.
Good morning, class.
Hmm.
Islamabad, the International Monetary
Fund.
Fund IMF intends to ban Pakistan from borrowing more from China, according to reports. Islamabad plans to seek PKR 7.9 billion from China for China-Pakistan Economic Corridor CPEC project is now likely to
Him.
hinge upon the IMF
Recommendation.
driving Pakistan economy with the help of external dose is
Unsustainable.
unsustainable, and Pakistan desperately needs structural reforms. The IMF has raised objection to Pakistan's loan from China and arbitrarily high payments made to Chinese independent power producer IPP suggesting Islamabad
Renegotiates. Negotiate का मतलब negotiate करना उसका renegotiate.
Its energy agreements with Beijing reported financial cost. Pakistan is obligated to pay over PKR 350 billion power dues to multiple Chinese IPPs operating in the country. IMF's demand follows Beijing's rejection of modification to the condition of agreement for project under CPEC. Pakistan's budget for FY
Financial year.
2022-23 has not addressed the structural issue proving to be an obstacle to revival of its economy.
Thank you.
Thank
Good morning to all. Now I am going to read the article which is related with IIM Bodh Gaya welcomes 294 new students to its MBA PhD courses. IIM Bodh Gaya during a grand orientation program that began on July 5 welcomed an academically diverse batch of 285 students to the 8th batch of its MBA program and nine scholars to its 3rd PhD program. The 3-day gala event will include on Thursday. The program was attended by all the new students along with esteemed guests, faculty members, and the existing students. On the 285 students inducted in the MBA program, 60 are female, with 146 students having previous work experience. The average work experience of the batch is 30 months. The batch comprises of students from multiple disciplines like engineering, science, commerce, humanities, management, language, law, dentistry, fashion, designing, and pharmacy. This year, 9 new PhD scholars, including 4 females, have been admitted to the institute in the area of operation management, economics, finance, organizational behavior, and human resource management, strategy, marketing, and IT. Such a diverse batch of students with varied mindset is always a boon as they contribute to the classroom discussion and activities and grow together. On the first day, the ceremony commenced with Vedic chanting and a Bharatnatyam recital of Ganesh Vandana by the students. It was followed by the lighting of the lamp. Dr. Prabhat Ranjan, Chairperson, Admission Committee, presented the profiles of the new batches of students. Professor M.D. Lakhuddin, Chairperson PhD, talked about the PhD program, while Professor Archana Patro, Chairperson PGP, introduced the MBA program and described the course, curriculum, and structure. Professor Vinita Sahai, Director IIM Bodh Gaya, welcomed the new batch and wished them good luck for an exciting and enriching journey with the institute. She guided the students through the core ideas and principles of the institute and emphasized that the vision of the institute is to make future mindful and socially responsible business leaders. The orientation saw many eminent speakers conducting informative section for the students. The first session of day 1 was marked by a talk of Abhik Chatterjee, MD and partner BCG, who talked about the importance of teamwork. Pratyay Amrit, Additional Chief Secretary, Health Government of Bihar said, some are born leaders, some invite these qualities. For some, they don't make it to do that, the class, but they are brilliant followers, and if you are happy with that, so be it. Shashank Kumar, co-founder and CEO, they had underlined the importance of job creation for a developing country like India. Atul Singh, founder and CEO and chief editor, Fair Observer, also joined the program online and talked about the freedom of ideas, creativity, and innovation. Sudhakaran Sarvikar, CEO and co-founder, Q Gates Technology, talked about the links between intelligence, consciousness, and enlightening leadership. Sajjad Ahmed, Senior Director HR, Capgemini, Suprabhiti Bhattacharya, Senior VP and Chief Talent Officer, RPG Group, and Megha Kapil, Director Talent Acquisition, PwC, were the other eminent guests who discussed various aspects of business and management. The first day concluded with an engaging cultural event called Novicia, organized by the Cultural Committee of IIM Bodh Gaya. The existing and new groups of students showcased their talent in dancing, poetry, recitation, and singing. The second day of the orientation program hosted Sister B.K. Shivani, who is the recipient of the prestigious Nari Shakti Puraskar, the highest civilian honor for women in India, and has been appointed as a Goodwill Ambassador by the World Psychiatrists Association. She talked about the importance of meditation. Meditation helps you to think right about the things that happen in a day and so relying your mindset for the day ahead. The second speaker of the day, Shashi Sinha, Chief Business Officer of Media and Advertisement, Adani Airports Holding Limited, emphasized the importance of growth mindset and how problems can be solved through conscious efforts. Rashi Khanna, founder and honorable chairperson, Rashi Foundation held an informative session on entrepreneur ventures and encouraged them to be empathetic. Deepak Kumar Singh, Additional Chief Secretary, Deputy of Education, Government of Bihar, graced the occasion and held an interactive session of the difference between public and private organization and how one can be more success oriented. He said, everyone has a different career trajectory. There is no solid tip that will work for all. You will have to use your logic and conclude what path is suited for you to follow. Pradipta Kumar Sahu, Chief Strategy Officer and Head of International Business, Mother Dairy, highlighted the importance of resourcefulness and awareness of the external environment in carrying out successful business venture. Madam Madan Mohan Pandey, Managing Director and CEO, Zwari Farm Hub Limited, Navneet Nilendra, Faculty Art of Living, and Vivek Jain, co-founder, Heritage, were the other speakers on the second program of orientation program. Thank you.
Sri Lanka asked Putin to provide fuel, resume tourist flights.
Good morning, everyone. Sri Lanka asked Putin to provide fuel to resume tourist flights. Sri Lanka has asked Russia to provide fuel and resume tourist flights to help the country weather its unpredictable economic crisis. Unprecedented economic crisis. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa said Wednesday in Iceland, nation has suffered month of blockouts, rampant inflation, and critical shortages of food and petroleum. After running out the foreign currency to finance imports, Rajapaksa said he had spoken with his Russian
Counterpart
Vladimir Putin to ask for supplies of urgently needed fuel on loan and to humbly request resumption of flight between Moscow and Colombo. We unanimously agreed strengthening brilliant bilateral relation in sectors such as tourism, trade, and culture was paramount in reinforcing the friendship our two nations share. Airfloat suspended flight last month after a Sri Lanka court widely and belonging to the state-owned airlines flipped over the payment dispute. The US and EU have
the United States and European Union.
The United States and European Union have both imposed embargoes on Russia and oil in responses to the country's February invasion of United States Ukraine. Sri Lanka had brought around 90,000 tons of Sibri and crude and many trot and immediately in Dubai, but ran out of dollars to purchase more. Russia to Ukraine were among the top source of tourists for Sri Lanka before February conflict frigate. Thank you.
हम बुला लेंगे भाई। Sensex Nifty rebound over 1% as FMCG Fin shares gain. Mumbai.
Good morning to all of you. Mumbai. Benchmark stock indices, Sensex and Nifty rebounded over 1% on Wednesday, following by FMCG financially and outstock demand softening crude oil prices and foreign crude turning net buyers of domestic equities after a long gap. The 30-share BSE climbed 616.6 or 1.2%, settled at 25 of its share ended in the green during the day. Its railed 685 point or 1.3% to 53.189. The NSE lifted south of 179 point or 1.1% to 15.989 with 14 constituted positioning again. Among Sensex share, Bajaj Finance, Hindustan Unilever, Asian Paint, Titans, Maruti Suzuki, Indian Kotak Mahindra Bank, and Nestle were the major gainers. Power Grinder, NTPC, Reliance Industries, and Tower Tata Steel were the largest. Softening crude oil prices, FIS responding to net buyer and strong business data from lender boosting to domestic equities. Head of researcher at COG Financial Service said crude prices fell sharply by 10% on Tuesday, which boosted the aptitude on consumption, chemical, logistic, and OMCS. It will be reduced as the cost bundle of this sector near said. In the border market, the BSE mid cap yield jumped 1.8% and the small cap index climbed 0.9% among the BSE sectors indices. Autos jumped 2.7%, followed by consumer discretionary goods and services 2.5%, FMCG 2.5%, consumer durable 2.4%, and realty 2.4%. Thank you.
Tata Steel. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Shabit Jaswal. Tata Steel to restart NINL steel mill in 3 months. CEO, New Delhi. Tata New Delhi.
हिंदी में दिल्ली, ठीक है, इंग्लिश में
Delhi. Tata Steel is aiming to restart the 1 million ton MTNINL steel mill in next 3 months time. Its CEO and MD TV Narendran Shahid on Wednesday. Tata Steel on Monday completed the acquisition of NINL through a subsidiary company. Tata Steel long produced TSLP for a consideration of 12,000 crore. The Odisha-based plant has been closed for almost 2 years. Tata Steel's next move will be to take over ownership of NINL and work hard along with employees and other stakeholders to realize the full potential of the asset. Narendran told PTI on a query on the company's future strategy with respect to the newly acquired steel plant. We are ready to work with exciting employees and restart the plant which has existing employees and restart the plant which has been closed for the almost 2 years. We hope to get the production started in next 3 months and ramp up to the rated capacity over the next 12 months. The top official said during this time, Tata Steel will also work toward finalizing the plan for the NINL capacity expansion to 5 million tons and take the requisite clearance internally and externally on January 31. Tata Steel announced winning the bid for acquiring 93.7% stake in Odisha based steel market NINL. When asked about the reason for the delay in the acquisitions process, he said it took some time as there were multiple issues to be resolved between the multiple shareholder of NINL and us. NINL has its captive power plant to meet the internal power requirement and air separation unit for production oxygen, nitrogen, and argon.
Nominal canteen fee will face GST.
Good morning to all of you. Nominal canteen fee will face GST. Mumbai, the GST authority for advanced ruling AAR Tamil Nadu has held that a nominal cost recovered from employees for providing canteen facilities is subject AR had held nominal sums recovered from employees are not subject to GST. In the case of Kothari, Sugars, and the applicant has established canteen facilities as mandated under Section 47 of the Factories Act 1948 and supplies food at a nominal cost either directly or through a third party vendor. The supply of food is a supply of service to employees as the same is not part of the employment contract. In its order, the AAR bench added that the nominal cost, which is recovered from the salaries of the respective employees as deferred payment, is consideration for the supply and GST is liable to be paid. By and large, tax experts and treating this ruling as an aberration, Sunil Gabarwala, founder of a CA firm, told TOI the ruling may not call for amendment of long-term employment contracts. In any case, the stocks involved are very misculped to deserve a tinkering of employment contracts. Thank you.
Usha, inspiration for every Indian.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Suzanne Aziz, and today's news are Usha inspiration for every Indian Modi. The choice of personalities with illustration careers in their respective fields and having achievement national and global recognition for their contribution is in keeping with the spirit of the scheme to recognize excellence by nominating them to the upper house, government source said. The emphasis the four nominated members include a woman, Usha, a Dalit, and a member of religious minority. These four nominees have given back to society at every possible instance. If one of them has groomed athletes, the other has mentored creative genius, mentored creative geniuses, another has nurtured cinematic talent, and the fourth has done community service. The source said, the remarkable P.T. Usha ji is an inspiration for every Indian. Her accomplishments in sports are widely known, but equally commendable is her work to mentor budding athletes. Over the last several years, the PM tweeted. He also lavished praises on the Ilayya Raja says his creative genius has enthralled people across generations. Thank you.
What do you next class?